Right now, as you're listening these words, you're probably experiencing one of the most frustrating paradoxes of human existence. You wake up every single day with genuine intention. You set goals, you visualize your dreams, you speak positive affirmations into the mirror. You read the books, follow the gurus, practice gratitude, and genuinely believe that this time will be different. Yet here you are, months, maybe years later, staring at a reality that feels like deja vu. The same financial struggles wearing different masks, the same relationship patterns with different faces, the same internal battles with new names but identical wounds. And somewhere deep inside, a voice whispers the question that terrifies you most. What if I'm broken? What if I'm the problem? What if I'm destined to live this same life forever? Stop. Right there. That voice is lying to you. You are not broken. You are not cursed. You are not lacking in worthiness or potential. What you are is trapped in what I call the frequency prison, an invisible cage built not from bars of steel, but from the electromagnetic patterns of your own unconscious mind. Here's what nobody tells you about manifestation, about change, about creating the life you desire. The universe doesn't respond to your wishes. It doesn't care about your vision boards or your positive thinking. The quantum field, that invisible matrix from which all reality emerges, responds to only one thing: the vibrational signature you broadcast when you think nobody's watching. Think about this for a moment. Right now, as you're sitting there, your body is literally a broadcasting station. Every cell, every thought, every emotion is emitting a specific frequency. And that frequency, it's been programmed by decades of experiences, traumas, beliefs, and conditioning that happened largely before you were even conscious enough to choose differently. Your subconscious mind, that vast, powerful computer running beneath your awareness, doesn't care about your dreams. It cares about one thing: keeping you alive. And to your primitive brain, alive means familiar, even when familiar is painful. Here's a statistic that will blow your mind. Neuroscientists have discovered that 95% of your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors are completely unconscious. That means only 5% of your mental activity is actually under your conscious control. Hear that again. Only 5% of you is actively participating in creating your new reality, while 95% is unconsciously recreating your old one. This is why you can affirm abundance for hours and still feel anxious about money. This is why you can declare self-love in the morning and criticize yourself by evening. This is why you can visualize perfect relationships while unconsciously choosing partners who trigger your deepest wounds. Your conscious mind is like a person trying to row a boat upstream, while an unconscious motor is pushing you in the opposite direction at full speed. You're not failing because you lack willpower. You're failing because you're fighting an invisible force you didn't even know existed. But here's the breakthrough moment. Once you understand this game, you can change the rules entirely. The quantum field doesn't judge, it mirrors. The quantum field isn't punishing you. It's not playing favorites. It's not testing you or making you prove your worthiness. The field is completely neutral, like a perfect mirror that reflects back exactly what you're projecting. If you're unconsciously broadcasting the frequency of "I'm not enough," the field says, "Perfect. Here are more experiences that confirm you're not enough." If you're unconsciously vibrating at the frequency of "Love always hurts," the field responds, "Understood. Here are more painful love experiences." The field isn't cruel. It's precise. It's giving you exactly what your dominant frequency is asking for, even when that's not what your conscious mind wants. This is simultaneously the most humbling and the most empowering realization you can have. Humbling because it means you've been unconsciously creating your current reality. Empowering because it means you have the power to consciously create a different one. Let me show you exactly how your personal reality loop operates. Because once you see it clearly, you can break it forever. Every morning, you wake up with the same body chemistry from yesterday. Your brain is literally marinating in the same neurochemical soup that created yesterday's thoughts and emotions. Without conscious intervention, your body automatically starts generating the same feelings that have become your emotional signature. These feelings trigger the same thoughts. These thoughts reinforce the same beliefs. These beliefs drive the same behaviors. These behaviors create the same experiences, and these experiences validate the original feelings. Completing the loop. It's like being stuck in a song that keeps playing the same verse over and over again. You keep hoping the chorus will change, but you're unconsciously hitting the repeat button every single day. Your relationships reflect this loop. If you unconsciously believe that love requires struggle, you'll magnetize people who make love feel like work. If you secretly believe you don't deserve success, you'll sabotage opportunities or attract situations that confirm your limitation. Your financial reality reflects this loop. If your nervous system is wired for scarcity, if abundance actually feels dangerous to your survival system, you'll unconsciously make choices that keep you within your familiar financial range, even when opportunities for more are right in front of you. Your health reflects this loop. If stress and overwhelm have become your normal state, your body will resist the peace and vitality that feel foreign to its learned patterns. But there comes a moment in every person's journey, and maybe this is yours right now, when the old patterns become so uncomfortable that staying the same hurts more than changing. This moment doesn't feel triumphant. It often feels like rock bottom. You might be there now, feeling frustrated, exhausted, maybe even desperate. You've tried so hard for so long that part of you wants to give up entirely. But I need you to understand something crucial. That feeling isn't a sign of failure. It's a sign that your old frequency is finally becoming unstable. Every system has a breaking point, a moment when the old structure can no longer hold together and either collapses or transforms. In physics, we call this a phase transition. Water doesn't gradually become steam. It stays water right up until the exact moment it becomes something entirely different. You are at your phase transition point. The frustration you feel isn't evidence that change is impossible. It's evidence that change is inevitable. Most people don't recognize the signs of an impending breakthrough because they don't look like what we expect. We think transformation should feel good, but often it feels chaotic first. Here are the hidden signs that you're closer to a quantum shift than you realize. Number 1, your old patterns are showing up with unusual intensity. If you've been working on yourself and suddenly your oldest fears, behaviors, or triggers seem stronger than ever, this isn't regression. It's the final flare-up of a frequency that knows its time is ending. Number 2, you feel emotionally stretched between two versions of yourself. Part of you is excited about who you're becoming, while another part is terrified of losing who you've been. This internal tension isn't comfortable, but it's the exact feeling of expansion. Number 3, synchronicities are increasing. You're seeing repeated numbers, having meaningful dreams, or noticing uncanny coincidences. These aren't random, they're signals that your personal reality is becoming more coherent with the quantum field. Number 4, your body is resisting. You might feel tired, restless, or even physically uncomfortable. This isn't your body breaking down, it's your nervous system recalibrating to hold a new frequency. Number 5, nothing seems to be working, yet something feels different. Externally, your reality might look the same, but internally, you sense a shift happening beneath the surface. Trust this feeling. The internal shift always precedes the external manifestation. Now let me share with you the 3 fundamental shifts that will break you out of the frequency prison and align you with the reality you've been dreaming of. Pillar 1, nervous system mastery. Your nervous system is the command center of your vibrational broadcast. If your nervous system is constantly activated, stuck in fight or flight, anxiety or survival mode, you're broadcasting chaos, and the field responds with chaotic experiences. The first and most crucial step is teaching your body how to feel safe in expanded state. This isn't about positive thinking. It's about nervous system regulation. When you can remain calm in the face of uncertainty, peaceful in the presence of challenges, and grounded while reaching for your dreams, you're broadcasting a completely different signal. Your body holds the memory of every stress, every trauma, every moment of overwhelm you've ever experienced. These memories live in your tissues, your breath patterns, your posture, your automatic responses. Until you address the body's conditioning, your mind's efforts to change will be constantly undermined. Think about the last time you tried to make a big change in your life. Remember how excited you felt initially? That excitement was real, but it was coming from your 5% conscious mind. Then, as you moved toward your goal, resistance crept in. Self-doubt surfaced. Old fears re-emerged. You found reasons to procrastinate or settle for less. This wasn't random. This was your 95% unconscious programming, stored in your body, pulling you back to what felt familiar and safe. Start here. For just 5 minutes every day, practice feeling the emotions of your desired reality. Not thinking about them, feeling them. If you want abundance, spend 5 minutes feeling genuinely grateful for what you have. If you want love, spend 5 minutes feeling worthy of love. If you want success, spend 5 minutes feeling proud of yourself. But here's the key. Do this slowly and gently. Your nervous system has been conditioned to certain emotional states for years. maybe decades. If you try to force new feelings too quickly or intensely, your system will reject them as foreign and dangerous. 5 seconds of genuine coherence, 5 seconds of truly feeling aligned with your desired reality, is more powerful than 5 hours of mental struggle. Quality of feeling, not quantity of time, is what creates the shift. Pillar 2. Pattern interruption. The second pillar is becoming exquisitely aware of your unconscious loops. Most people live their entire lives without ever noticing the repetitive thoughts, emotions, and reactions that keep them trapped. You have approximately 60,000 to 70,000 thoughts per day, and research shows that 95% of them are the same thoughts you had yesterday. You're thinking the same thoughts, which create the same emotions, which drive the same behaviors, which create the same experience. This is why you can read every self-help book, attend every seminar, and learn every technique, yet still find yourself in the same situations. You're trying to create change from the same level of consciousness that created your current reality. Every time you catch yourself thinking an old thought, feeling an old feeling, or reacting in an old way, you have a choice point. This is where your power lives, not in never having the old patterns arise, but in choosing not to feed them with your energy. The moment you notice yourself slipping into an old pattern, pause. Take 3 deep breaths. Ask yourself, is this coming from who I was or who I'm becoming? Then consciously choose a response that aligns with your new identity. This sounds simple, but it's revolutionary. Every time you interrupt an old pattern, you're creating a crack in the frequency prison. Do it enough times, and the whole structure collapses. Here's what this looks like in practice. You're about to make a decision about money, and the old voice says, I can't afford this. Instead of automatically agreeing, you pause and ask, is this coming from my old relationship with money or my new one? Then you choose to respond from abundance consciousness, even if your bank account doesn't reflect it yet. Or you're in a relationship conflict, and your old pattern is to either attack or withdraw. Instead, you pause and ask, how would the version of me who has healthy relationships handle this? Then you choose to respond from that place of emotional maturity and love. Pillar 3. Identity embodiment. The third and most powerful pillar is living as if the change has already happened, not as a technique or a trick, but as a genuine embodiment of your future self. Your future self, the version of you living in your desired reality, already exists in the quantum field. They're not a fantasy, they're a frequency, and you can tune into that frequency right now by asking yourself, how would the person I'm becoming handle this situation? How would they think, feel, and act? Then do that, be that. Choose from that place of already being transformed, even when your external reality hasn't caught up yet. This is the most challenging part of the process, because it requires you to act in faith before you have evidence. It means treating yourself like the successful person you're becoming, even when your current circumstances suggest otherwise. It means speaking to yourself with the love and respect you'll have when you fully love yourself, even if you're not there yet. Your identity isn't what you say it is. It's what your frequency says it is. It's the sum total of what you expect, what you allow, what you tolerate, what you settle into when nobody's watching. Most people wait for their circumstances to change before they'll allow themselves to feel different. But in the quantum model, you must become the frequency first, and then the circumstances align to match it. Here's where quantum physics becomes practical. The field responds not to scattered intentions, but to coherent signals. Coherence means all parts of you, your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and behaviors are aligned and broadcasting the same frequency. Most people are incoherent. They want love, but feel unworthy. They desire success, but expect failure. They speak abundance while feeling lack. This mixed signal confuses the field and creates mixed results. True transformation happens when you achieve coherence, when your conscious desires align with your subconscious beliefs, when your emotional state matches your intended reality, when your actions reflect your new identity. This is why simply thinking positive thoughts isn't enough. If you're thinking abundance but feeling scarcity, the field responds to the stronger signal, and feelings are always stronger than thought. Here's something that might sound contradictory. The fastest way to get what you want is to stop needing it so desperately. When you're in a state of desperate wanting, you're broadcasting lack. The field responds to lack with more experiences of lacking. But when you can genuinely feel grateful for what you have while remaining open to more, when you can feel complete within yourself while still desiring growth, that's when magic happens. That's when the field responds not to your desperation, but to your wholeness. This doesn't mean becoming passive or giving up on your dreams. It means pursuing them from a place of excitement and expansion rather than fear and desperation. The universe doesn't reward desperation, it responds to alignment. When you're aligned, you're not chasing your desires, you're a magnet for them. One of the biggest misconceptions about transformation is that it takes a long time. We've been conditioned to believe that real change is slow, gradual, and requires years of effort. But quantum physics reveals a different truth. Change can happen instantaneously when you achieve the right frequency. In the quantum field, time doesn't work the way we experience it in our daily lives. All possibilities exist simultaneously. The reality you desire isn't somewhere in your future. It exists right now as a potential waiting to be collapsed into your experience. The question isn't how long will this take? The question is, how quickly can I align with the frequency of my desired reality? Some people achieve this alignment in moments. Others take years because they keep oscillating between their new frequency and their old one. The field responds to your dominant signal, so consistency is more important than intensity. Your breakthrough is brewing. I want you to know that if you're feeling resistance as you're watching this, if part of you is arguing with these concepts or feeling overwhelmed by the magnitude of change required, that's actually a good sign. It means your old programming is recognizing that its days are numbered. The resistance isn't trying to hurt you, it's trying to keep you safe in the familiar. But you've outgrown the familiar. You've outgrown the small version of yourself that needed to play small to feel secure. Every great transformation feels uncomfortable at first. The caterpillar doesn't dissolve into soup because something's wrong. It dissolves because it's becoming something magnificent. Your discomfort isn't evidence that you're doing something wrong. It's evidence that you're finally doing something right. The field is already responding. Here's what I want you to understand. The moment you truly grasp these concepts, the moment you decide to break the pattern, the quantum field begins responding immediately. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. The new reality you desire isn't something you have to create from scratch. It already exists as a potential in the field, waiting for you to tune into its frequency. Your job isn't to make it happen. Your job is to become a match for it. And you do that not through struggle and force, but through alignment and resonance. Through choosing thoughts that feel like expansion rather than contraction. Through choosing actions that come from love rather than fear. Through choosing to be the person you're becoming, even before the world reflects it back to you. As you transform, everything around you begins to shift. The people in your life will either rise to meet your new frequency or fall away to make space for those who match it. Opportunities that were invisible before will suddenly appear. Resources you need will show up in unexpected ways. This isn't magical thinking, it's quantum mechanics. As your frequency changes, you literally begin to perceive and attract different possibilities from the field. Some people in your life might resist your transformation. They're comfortable with the old version of you and might unconsciously try to pull you back into familiar patterns. This is normal. Hold your new frequency with compassion, but without compromise. Transformation isn't a destination. It's a daily practice. Every morning, you wake up with a choice. Will you default to your old programming, or will you consciously choose to embody your new frequency? Here's your daily transformation protocol. Number 1, morning frequency setting. Before you check your phone, before you think about your problems, spend 5 minutes feeling into the emotional state of your desired reality. Don't think about what you want, feel how you'll feel when you have it. Number 2, pattern awareness. Throughout the day, notice when old patterns arise. Don't judge them, just observe them. Each moment of awareness is a moment of power. Number 3, coherence check. Regularly ask yourself, am I thinking, feeling, and acting from my old self or my new self? Then make adjustments accordingly. Number 4, evening integration. Before sleep, review your day. Celebrate moments when you chose your new frequency. Gently acknowledge moments when you slipped into old patterns, without judgment. Remember, you're not trying to be perfect. You're trying to be consistent. Every time you choose your new frequency over your old one, you're casting a vote for your new reality. Your new beginning starts now. So let me ask you directly. Are you ready to stop being a victim of your unconscious patterns? Are you ready to step out of the frequency prison and into the limitless field of possibilities? Because if you are, then everything changes from this moment forward. Every choice becomes a declaration. Every thought becomes a vote for your new reality. Every emotion becomes a tuning fork, aligning you with the frequency of your dreams. The old you might listen these words and think this sounds too good to be true. But the new you, the one who's already beginning to emerge, knows that you've been settling for too small a life for too long. You are not here to repeat old patterns. You are not here to live a mediocre existence. You are here to break through, to transform, to become a living example of what's possible when a human being aligns with their true power. The quantum field is not separate from you. You are part of it, and it is part of you. Every particle in your body was forged in the heart of a star. You are literally made of cosmic material, temporarily organized into the experience of being human. You have access to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, infinite creative power. The only thing that has ever limited you is your belief in limitation itself. The choice is yours. Right now, in this moment, you stand at a crossroads. You can close this message and go back to your familiar patterns, hoping that somehow things will magically change without you changing first. Or you can make the decision that everything in your life has been leading up to the decision to break the loop and step into your quantum power. The field is waiting. Your new reality is waiting. The version of you who lives in complete alignment with your deepest desires is waiting. The only question left is, will you tune in? The frequency of your dreams is broadcasting right now. All you have to do is match it. Your transformation begins with this breath, this choice, this moment. You are not broken. You are not stuck. You are not destined to repeat the same reality forever. You are a quantum being, temporarily having a human experience, and you have the power to collapse any possibility you choose into your lived experience. Welcome to your quantum awakening. The best version of your life is not just possible. It's inevitable once you align with the frequency that creates it. The prison door was never locked. You just forgot you held the key. Now use it. The loop ends here. Your new frequency begins now. Have you ever paused to consider that everything you perceive, everything you touch, see, and experience might be fundamentally different from what you believe it to be? Take a moment right now. Look around you. The solid objects, the vibrant colors, the seemingly fixed reality that surrounds you. What if I told you that this perceived solidity is merely an illusion, a limited interpretation created by your senses from an infinite sea of possibilities? This isn't science fiction. This is the revolutionary understanding emerging from quantum physics, a paradigm shift that doesn't just change how we view the universe, but completely transforms how we understand our place within it and our ability to shape our lives. We've been conditioned to believe that we are passive observers in a fixed reality, that the world happens to us rather than through us. But what if the truth is precisely the opposite? What if you are not just an observer, but a powerful co-creator of your reality? What if your consciousness, your thoughts, emotions, and intentions are the very forces that shape the world you experience? Today, I invite you on a transformative journey. Together, we'll explore the extraordinary intersection of consciousness and quantum reality. You'll discover how the thoughts you think and the emotions you feel aren't just passive reactions to your environment, but powerful creative forces that literally shape the world around you. By the end of our time together, you'll understand not just intellectually, but experientially how to access the quantum field, the infinite source of all possibilities, and harness its power to manifest the life you've always dreamed of living. Picture the chair you're sitting on right now. It appears solid, unchanging, and completely separate from you. This perception forms the foundation of how most of us navigate through life, believing we exist in a world of fixed, independent objects that would exist whether we were here to perceive them or not. But quantum physics tells us a profoundly different story. At the most fundamental level, that chair isn't solid at all. It's composed of atoms that are 99.999.999% empty space. And even the subatomic particles within those atoms aren't really particles in the way we imagine them. Tiny billiard balls floating in space. They exist as probability waves, fluctuating patterns of energy that only take definite form when observed. In other words, matter as we know it, the entire physical world, is actually a dynamic dance of energy vibrating at specific frequencies. Nothing is truly solid, nothing is truly separate, and perhaps most revolutionary of all, nothing exists independently of consciousness. The pioneering quantum physicist Max Planck put it this way: I regard consciousness as fundamental. I regard matter as derivative from consciousness. We cannot get behind consciousness. This isn't abstract philosophy, it's the cutting edge of physics. The implications are staggering. If matter itself is fundamentally energy, and if consciousness influences how that energy manifests, then the boundary between out there and in here dissolves. The distinction between observer and observed becomes blurred. You are not simply perceiving a pre-existing reality, You are participating in its continual creation. Consider for a moment what this means for your life. The limitations you've accepted, the boundaries you've respected, the rules you've followed. How many of these are simply artificial constructs? How much of what you believe to be fixed reality is actually a malleable energy pattern that responds to your consciousness? Our physical senses detect only a minute fraction of the energy spectrum that exists. We see a narrow band of visible light. We hear a limited range of sound frequencies. What we call reality is merely the tiny slice of existence that our biological equipment can process. Beyond the narrow bandwidth of our senses lies a vast, invisible field of energy and information, the quantum field containing all possibilities, all potential realities simultaneously. When you truly grasp this, you understand that what appears as solid reality is actually a temporary manifestation, a crystallization of energy patterns from this infinite field of possibility. This isn't just fascinating information. It's the key to liberation. Once you understand that the physical world is not the rigid structure you've been taught to believe in, but rather a fluid, responsive energy system that interacts with your consciousness, you begin to see yourself not as a powerless speck in an indifferent universe, but as a creative force with the ability to shape your experience. The chair you're sitting on, the room around you, the circumstances of your life, all of these are not fixed, unchangeable facts, but dynamic energy patterns that are constantly responding to the frequencies you emit through your thoughts, emotions, and intention. This is the revolutionary truth that quantum physics has revealed. Reality is not happening to you. It is responding to you. If the physical world we perceive is merely energy vibrating at specific frequencies, then what is the source of this energy? Where do these possibilities originate before they crystallize into our experience? Scientists call it the quantum field, a vast, interconnected web of energy and information that permeates all of existence. Ancient wisdom traditions had many names for it: the Akashic field, the universal mind, the divine matrix. Regardless of what we call it, this field represents the true foundation of everything we experience. Unlike the physical world with its apparent limitations of time and space, the quantum field exists in a state of pure potential. Within it, all possibilities exist simultaneously. It is unbounded by time, past, present, and future all coexist. It is unbounded by space. Distance becomes meaningless as everything is connected at this fundamental level. The quantum field is not somewhere out there. It is everywhere, including within you. You exist within the field, and the field exists within you. There is no separation. This is not mere metaphysics. It's supported by the phenomenon of quantum entanglement, where particles once connected remain instantaneously linked regardless of distance. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance, but it's now been experimentally verified countless times. At the quantum level, separation is an illusion. Everything is fundamentally connected. What does this mean for you? It means that you are not isolated from the world around you. Your consciousness, your thoughts, emotions, and intentions doesn't stop at the boundary of your skin. It radiates outward as electromagnetic energy, interacting with and influencing the quantum field. When you understand this profound connection, you realize that the quantum field is essentially a cosmic canvas waiting for your creative input. It is responsive to consciousness. It takes the imprint of your focused attention and intention, and then reflects back to you corresponding experiences and circumstances. This is why ancient wisdom traditions have always emphasized the power of intention and attention. Where you place your attention, you direct your energy, and energy follows attention, manifesting as experience in your physical reality. Consider the implications. If the quantum field contains all possibilities, and if your consciousness influences which possibilities materialize in your life, then the limitations you experience aren't inherent in reality itself. They exist primarily in your own awareness, in what you believe is possible, in what you expect to see reflected back to you. This is not to say that you can simply wish for anything and it will instantly appear. The process is both more subtle and more profound than that. It's about understanding that reality formation is a collaboration between your consciousness and the quantum field, a dance of energy, intention, and manifestation. The quantum field doesn't discriminate. It doesn't judge whether your desires are good or bad, whether you deserve them or not. It simply responds to the vibrational frequencies you emit. Like a perfect mirror, it reflects back to you experiences that match your predominant thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. This is why mastering your inner world, the realm of your thoughts and emotions, is so crucial. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, sends ripples through the quantum field, attracting corresponding experiences back to you. When you live unconsciously on autopilot, your thoughts and emotions are largely reactive, shaped by past conditioning and external circumstances. You become caught in cycles of creating the same experiences over and over again. But when you become conscious of this creative process, you gain the power to intentionally shape the signals you send to the quantum field. This is the true meaning of empowerment, not forcing or controlling external reality, but mastering your inner reality. When you change from within, the world around you changes in response. The quantum field is not just a scientific concept, it's the very canvas upon which you paint your life experience. And consciousness is the brush with which you create. Let's explore more deeply how your consciousness interacts with the quantum field to shape your reality. Every thought you have, every emotion you feel, generates an electromagnetic frequency. These aren't abstract concepts. They're measurable energy patterns. Scientific instruments can detect the electromagnetic fields generated by your brain and heart. And these energy patterns don't stay contained within you. They radiate outward, interacting with the quantum field. When you think about something, whether it's a goal you want to achieve, a relationship you desire, or a problem you want to solve, you're not just having a private, internal experience. You're emitting a specific frequency into the quantum field. If that thought is fleeting and casual, its impact may be minimal. But when you focus intensely on something, especially when you combine that focus with strong emotion, you create a much more powerful, energetic signature. This is why clarity of intention is so crucial in the manifestation process. The quantum field responds precisely to the signals you send. If your thoughts are scattered, contradictory, or unclear, the field can only return scattered, contradictory, or unclear results. But when your intention is focused and coherent, you create a clear template in the quantum field that begins to attract corresponding circumstances and opportunities. Think of it like tuning a radio. When you dial in a specific frequency with precision, you get a clear, strong signal. If your dial is between stations, you get static and interference. Your consciousness works the same way. The clearer and more coherent your frequency, the clearer the response from the quantum field. This explains why some people seem to effortlessly attract positive experiences, while others struggle despite their best efforts. It's not about luck or favoritism from the universe. It's about the coherence and clarity of the signals they're sending to the quantum field. The quantum field doesn't distinguish between what you want and what you don't want. It doesn't recognize negation. When you focus intensely on avoiding something you fear, you're still focusing your energy on that very thing, inadvertently strengthening its pattern in the quantum field. This is why many spiritual traditions emphasize focusing on what you want to create, rather than what you want to avoid. This principle extends beyond momentary thoughts to your underlying beliefs and perception. Your core beliefs about yourself and the world act as a filter through which you perceive reality. If you believe that success is difficult or that good things don't happen to you, these beliefs create energetic patterns that the quantum field faithfully reflects back to you as corresponding experiences. The good news is that these beliefs are not. They can be consciously examined and transformed. When you change your perception, how you fundamentally see yourself and the world, you change the frequencies you emit, and thus the experiences the quantum field reflects back to you. A simple shift in perspective can completely transform your reality, because it changes the energy you project into the field. When you reframe a challenge as an opportunity, when you choose gratitude instead of resentment, when you respond with love instead of fear, you're not just changing your subjective experience, you're literally changing the energetic template from which your physical reality emerges. This is why so many spiritual traditions emphasize presence and mindfulness. When you're fully present, you gain conscious control over your thoughts and emotions, rather than being driven by unconscious patterns and reactions. This presence gives you creative power, the ability to deliberately choose which frequencies you emit into the quantum field. Remember, reality is not happening to you, it is responding to you. Your consciousness is not a passive observer, but an active creator. Every thought, every emotion, every belief is a brushstroke on the canvas of your life. The more conscious you become of this creative process, the more deliberately you can paint the masterpiece of your existence. While your thoughts shape reality by directing your energy towards specific possibilities in the quantum field, it's your emotions that amplify this creative process, giving your thoughts the power to manifest in the physical world. Scientists have discovered that the heart generates an electromagnetic field that is up to 5,000 times stronger than the field generated by the brain. This powerful heart field extends several feet beyond your body, affecting everything and everyone around you. When you feel positive emotions like love, gratitude, or joy, this field becomes even more coherent and powerful. Imagine the difference. When your mind formulates a clear intention but your heart feels doubt, fear, or anxiety, you're sending mixed signals to the quantum field. It's like trying to tune into two radio stations simultaneously. The result is interference and distortion. But when your mind and heart are aligned, when you not only think about what you want to create, but deeply feel the emotions associated with already having it, you create a powerful, coherent signal that the quantum field responds to with remarkable precision. This mind-heart coherence creates what scientists call a state of psychophysiological coherence, a condition where your nervous system, cardiovascular system, hormonal system, and brain function in optimal coordination. Studies have shown that people in this state not only experience improved mental clarity, emotional stability, and physical health, but also demonstrate enhanced intuition and manifestation abilities. Think of intention as the arrow pointing toward your desired reality, while emotion is the bow that propels that arrow with force. Without emotional energy, your intentions remain weak, unable to gain sufficient momentum to manifest. But when charged with the powerful energy of positive emotion, your intentions become magnetic forces that rearrange the quantum field to bring your desires into physical reality. This explains why affirmations or visualizations sometimes fail to produce results. They remain intellectual exercises without the emotional component that gives them power. It's not enough to repeat positive statements if you don't genuinely feel the emotions associated with them. True creation happens when thought and feeling are perfectly aligned. But how do you achieve this powerful state of heart-mind coherence? It begins with mindfulness, becoming aware of any disconnect between what you say you want and how you truly feel about it. Many of us harbor unconscious negative emotions or limiting beliefs that contradict our conscious desires. These create energetic interference that blocks manifestation. Once you've identified any discord between your thoughts and emotions, you can work to bring them into alignment through several powerful practices. Number 1, emotional clearing. Release stored negative emotions through practices like EFT, emotional freedom techniques, meditation, breath work, or journaling. These techniques help dissolve the emotional blocks that prevent your heart from fully embracing your conscious intentions. Number 2, heart-focused breathing. By intentionally slowing and deepening your breath while focusing your attention on your heart area, you can quickly shift into a state of increased coherence. This simple practice has been scientifically proven to synchronize your heart rhythm and brain waves, creating the optimal state for manifestation. Number 3, heartfelt gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most powerful emotions for creating coherence. When you feel genuine gratitude for something even before it physically manifests, you align your vibration with that of your desired reality, accelerating its materialization. Number 3, embodied visualization. Rather than merely picturing what you want to create, fully immerse yourself in the sensory and emotional experience of already having it. Feel the joy, excitement, satisfaction, or peace that would accompany the fulfillment of your desire. This bridges the gap between intellectual intention and emotional resonance. When your heart and mind work in harmony, you become a powerfully coherent broadcaster of specific frequencies into the quantum field. Instead of sending mixed or contradictory signals, you emit a clear, strong frequency that magnetically attracts corresponding experiences. This coherence creates what many traditions call a state of flow, where synchronicities increase, opportunities arise unexpectedly, and manifestation seems to happen with ease and grace. What once required struggle now unfolds naturally, not because the external world has changed, but because you have changed your relationship with the quantum field that gives rise to your experience. The heart isn't just a pump circulating blood through your body. It's a sophisticated intelligence center that plays a crucial role in how you create your reality. When you learn to combine the directional clarity of your mind with the amplifying power of your heart, you become a conscious creator in the truest sense. Now that we understand the theoretical foundation of quantum manifestation, how consciousness interacts with the quantum field through the heart-mind connection, let's explore the practical application of these principles. How do you actually harness this knowledge to create meaningful change in your life? The process begins with presence. True creation happens in the present moment, the only point where your consciousness directly interfaces with the quantum field. Most of us spend our mental and emotional energy either rehashing the past or worrying about the future, leaving little creative power available for conscious manifestation. To access your creative power, you must first anchor yourself fully in the present. This means releasing preoccupation with what has been and what might be, allowing yourself to enter a state of heightened awareness where you become fully available to the infinite possibilities of the now. Meditation is one of the most powerful tools for cultivating this presence. Through regular meditation practice, you learn to quiet the constant chatter of your mind and enter a state of expanded awareness where you can more directly influence the quantum field. Research has shown that meditation actually changes your brain waves, shifting you from the beta state of normal waking consciousness to alpha and theta states, where the boundary between conscious and subconscious mind becomes more permeable. This is significant because your subconscious mind, which operates below the threshold of your conscious awareness, is responsible for approximately 95% of your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. It's also the part of your mind that interfaces most directly with the quantum field. By accessing deeper brainwave states through meditation, you can reprogram subconscious patterns and more effectively implant new intentions into the quantum field. Once you've established a foundation of presence, the next step is to clarify your intention. Vague wishes or general desires lack the coherence necessary to reorganize energy patterns in the quantum field. The more specific and clear your intention, the more precisely the quantum field can respond. When formulating your intention, it's important to focus on what you want to create rather than what you want to avoid or eliminate. Remember, energy flows where attention goes. If you focus on eliminating debt, your attention is still on debt. Instead, focus on creating abundance and financial freedom. With your clear intention established, the next crucial step is to generate the emotional frequency that corresponds to your desire already fulfilled. This is where many people falter in the manifestation process. They wait to feel good until they see external evidence of their desire materializing. But in quantum manifestation, the emotion precedes the physical manifestation. It doesn't follow it. This principle was expressed by Jesus in the Bible, when he said, "Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." The key phrase is believe that you have received it, not will receive it, but have received it. This is the essence of quantum manifestation, generating now the emotional state that would result from your desire being fulfilled. How do you genuinely feel emotions for something that hasn't physically manifested yet? This is where the power of your imagination comes into play. Your subconscious mind and the quantum field don't distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and an actual physical experience. When you imagine something with full sensory and emotional involvement, you generate the same neurological and energetic patterns as you would if you were actually experiencing it. This isn't pretending or self-deception. It's strategically using your imagination to create specific neural and energetic patterns that the quantum field can respond to. Athletes use this same principle when they mentally rehearse a perfect performance, generating the neural pathways that support the actual physical achievement. Once you've aligned your thoughts and emotions with your desired reality, the final step is perhaps the most challenging: letting go of attachment to how and when your desire will manifest. This doesn't mean becoming passive or abandoning your intention. Rather, it means trusting the intelligence of the quantum field to organize the countless variables necessary to bring your desire into physical form. Attachment to specific outcomes or timelines creates resistance and constriction in your energy field, which blocks the free flow of manifestation. Paradoxically, the more willing you are to release control over the details, the more quickly and elegantly your desires can materialize. This release of attachment is facilitated by cultivating trust. Trust in the process, trust in the quantum field, and trust in your own creative power. When doubt or anxiety arises, as it inevitably will, recognize it as simply another energy pattern that you can choose to transform through conscious awareness and emotional regulation. Regular practice of gratitude accelerates this entire process by aligning your frequency with that of receiving and abundance. When you feel genuine gratitude for what you already have and for what is coming into your life, you create an energetic match for more things to be grateful for. Gratitude is both the cause and the effect of successful manifestation. Remember that quantum manifestation isn't about forcing reality to conform to your ego's demands. It's about aligning yourself with the natural creative process of the universe, becoming a conscious conduit for possibilities to flow from the quantum field into physical expression. The more you practice these principles with an attitude of wonder, playfulness, and appreciation, the more you'll experience the joy of co-creating with the infinite intelligence of life itself. As you begin to integrate these quantum principles into your daily life, you'll notice a profound shift in how you experience reality. What once seemed like fixed limitations in your health, relationships, career, or any other area reveal themselves as malleable energy patterns that respond to your conscious attention and intention. This doesn't mean that overnight you'll acquire magical abilities to defy the laws of physics as we understand them. Rather, it means you'll begin to operate within an expanded set of possibilities that were always available but remained invisible to you because of your limited perception. The first and most noticeable change will likely be in how you experience challenges and obstacles. Instead of seeing them as proof of your limitations or as reasons to give up on your dreams, you'll begin to recognize them as temporary energy patterns that contain valuable feedback about your own consciousness. Every challenge becomes an invitation to examine what you're broadcasting to the quantum field and to adjust your inner state accordingly. You'll also begin to notice an increase in meaningful coincidences and synchronicities in your life. When you're aligned with the quantum field, the right people, resources, and opportunities tend to appear at precisely the right moments. What might previously have been dismissed as random chance now reveals itself as the intelligent orchestration of the quantum field responding to your conscious and subconscious signals. Your relationship with time will transform as well. When you're struggling against reality, trying to force outcomes through sheer willpower, time seems to drag and progress feels painfully slow. But when you're creating from alignment with the quantum field, time often seems to compress. Things that might normally take years can sometimes unfold in months, weeks, or even days. Perhaps most significantly, you'll experience a profound shift in your sense of self. The boundary between you and the world will begin to soften as you recognize that both are expressions of the same underlying quantum field. You'll feel less isolated and separate, more connected to all of life. This doesn't mean losing your individuality. Rather, your unique perspective becomes a gift that you offer to the collective field, a specific vantage point through which the universe experiences itself. This expanded sense of self brings with it a natural increase in compassion and empathy. When you recognize others as extensions of the same quantum field that you are, the artificial divisions that create conflict and separation begin to dissolve. You realize that harming others is ultimately harming yourself, while supporting others' well-being contributes to the coherence of the entire field. Living as a quantum creator also means embracing responsibility in its truest sense, not as burden or blame, but as the ability to respond consciously to life. You understand that while you may not control every circumstance that appears in your life, you always have the power to choose how you respond energetically to those circumstances. This responsibility extends to monitoring and managing your internal state. You become aware that your thoughts and emotions aren't just private events, but energetic broadcasts that influence the field around you. This awareness naturally leads to greater mindfulness about what you're emanating into the world. As you continue to practice conscious creation, you'll discover that manifestation becomes less about acquiring specific objects or achievements and more about expressing your authentic essence. The question shifts from what do I want to have to who do I want to be and what do I want to create or contribute. This is when quantum manifestation becomes truly fulfilling, when it's aligned with your deepest values and highest purpose. Remember that becoming a quantum creator is a journey, not a destination. There will be moments of perfect alignment when manifestation feels effortless and magical. There will also be times when old patterns reassert themselves and you temporarily lose your connection to the field. This is not failure. It's part of the process of expanding your consciousness and refining your energy. The key is to approach this journey with patience, persistence, and self-compassion. Each time you notice yourself falling into reaction or limitation, simply acknowledge it without judgment and gently redirect your attention to the expanded possibilities available to you as a quantum creator. By consistently applying these principles, presence, clear intention, emotional alignment, trust, and gratitude, you progressively rewire your neural pathways and energy patterns to support conscious creation as your natural state of being. What once required deliberate effort eventually becomes second nature, your default way of interfacing with reality. This is the promise and the invitation of quantum living, to move beyond the confined boundaries of conventional existence into an expanded reality where you recognize yourself as the conscious creator of your experience. In this recognition lies true freedom, the freedom to choose, to create, and to express the full magnificence of who you really are. We've journeyed together through a profound exploration of quantum reality and conscious creation. We've discovered that the solid, fixed reality we once took for granted is actually a fluid, responsive energy field that mirrors our consciousness. We've learned that our thoughts and emotions are not contained within us, but radiate outward as electromagnetic frequencies that interact with the quantum field. And we've explored practical approaches to harness this understanding for creating meaningful change in our lives. But understanding these principles intellectually is just the beginning. True transformation happens when you begin to apply them consistently in your daily life. When you shift from knowing about quantum creation to actually living as a quantum creator. This shift doesn't happen overnight. It's a progressive awakening, a gradual reprogramming of deeply ingrained perceptions and patterns. Be patient with yourself as you integrate these new ways of being. Celebrate your successes, learn from your challenges, and maintain an attitude of curious exploration throughout the process. Remember that you're not alone on this journey. Throughout human history, wisdom traditions from around the world have recognized and taught these same principles, albeit using different language and frameworks. Modern quantum physics is simply providing scientific validation for what mystics, sages, and spiritual teachers have been saying for millennia. Consciousness creates reality. As you move forward from here, I encourage you to approach your life as a sacred laboratory for conscious creation. Each day presents countless opportunities to practice presence, clarify your intentions, align your emotions, and observe how the quantum field responds. Even small, seemingly insignificant experiences can provide valuable feedback about your state of coherence and alignment. As you build confidence in your creative abilities, you can gradually apply these principles to more challenging aspects of your experience. The key is consistent practice combined with compassionate self-awareness. Thank you for your presence and engagement throughout this journey. Remember, you are not a powerless speck in an indifferent universe. You are a magnificent expression of consciousness with the innate ability to shape your reality through the focused power of your attention and intention. The quantum field awaits your creative input. What will you choose to create?
You are not just a physical being living in a physical world. You are made up of energy and exist in a universe where everything is vibrating energy. You have the ability to send and receive energy. One of the biggest challenges for you is understanding how to live as an energy being in a world where everything is made up of energy. Every word you speak and every action you take, from the simplest tasks like breathing, walking, and eating, to the complexities of your emotions and thoughts, requires energy. These emotions and thoughts, whether positive or negative, carry their own energetic vibrations that can shape your experiences and have an impact on the world around you. And through the mastery of your vibrations, you can unlock a world of endless potential. Think of yourself as a transmitter of energy. All the time, you are sending out signals that tell the universe about yourself. These signals can either attract or repel other energetic beings, events, and experiences. If your energetic self radiates anger and frustration, your physical reality will reflect that as well. Naturally, you draw toward things that align with how you feel and who you are. If you emit an energy of wealth and abundance, your life will reflect that by bringing more wealth and abundance into your physical reality. Similarly, if you radiate negative or discordant energy, you are likely to repel experiences that don't match your state of being. Once you understand that your vibrational self attracts similar things, it becomes evident that if you desire a different experience in your life, you need to change the signals you are emitting. In other words, if you want to attract different circumstances or outcomes, you must adjust your thoughts, emotions, and overall energy to align with what you wish to experience. By consciously changing the signals you send out, you can create a shift in the patterns and experiences that come into your life. You are so much more powerful than you ever imagined. By understanding how to transmit the vibrations of your desired life, you can fundamentally change the way you experience the world and become aligned with your ideal life. Indeed, your thoughts are not just random mental processes. They carry energy and vibrations. Each thought you generate sets off a specific frequency of vibration in the neurons of your brain. This energetic activity creates a powerful force that aligns with and draws corresponding experiences towards you. In essence, the energy and vibrations emitted by your thoughts act as magnets, attracting and manifesting the essence of what you focus on. By understanding this principle, You can consciously direct your thoughts towards the outcomes you desire, harnessing the power of your thoughts to shape your reality. Your thoughts are the building blocks of your reality. There is a saying, watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. Your thoughts are the seeds that manifest your future. It's important to be mindful of how you allocate your energy because it follows your attention. Ultimately, it is up to you to decide where to direct your energy. You have the freedom to choose, and even the act of making a decision requires energy. Albert Einstein once said, "Everything is energy." In fact, even watching this video requires energy. The energy we focus on ultimately shapes our reality. You possess the power to guide and manage this energy, determining where to concentrate it and how to utilize it. By doing so, you can effectively channel your energy towards your goals and aspirations. It's important to recognize that you have the power to control your energy. When you're feeling down, you can redirect your attention to something that lifts your spirits. You can also influence your energy by spending time with positive people, engaging in activities that bring you joy, and surrounding yourself with uplifting messages. Taking steps to protect your energy is also crucial, such as setting boundaries, avoiding negative situations and relationships, and practicing self-care. The universe aligns in your favor, bringing you everything that resonates with your energy. Trusting and having faith in the power of energy can create remarkable transformations in your life. By placing trust in energy, you recognize your own deservingness to receive and the capacity to generously give to others. Start perceiving that there is more to life than what is apparent, and that a greater force is at play. Become connected to something vast, something that possesses boundless knowledge, understanding, and love. Trusting in energy brings about remarkable changes in your well-being. Your energy aligns, your cells rejuvenate, and your overall health improves. Feelings of despair, confusion, and disappointment fade away, replaced by a sense of serenity, balance, and lightness. Your energy becomes clear, pure, and flows smoothly like a mountain stream. You embrace your worthiness and deservingness, and joy becomes a constant presence in your life. Wisdom and inner peace enrich your being, and clarity pervades your thoughts. This is the profound impact of energy, and when you place your trust in it, everything effortlessly falls into place. When you trust in the universe and have faith in your own abilities, your energy becomes both powerful and serene. Wisdom and tranquility emerge from within. Your thoughts transform into beliefs, and your dreams start to materialize in your reality. By believing in your aspirations and taking concrete steps towards them, you have the ability to create significant transformations in your life and accomplish everything you yearn for. Have faith in yourself and in the universe's guidance to lead you towards your purpose, and you will uncover your true mission in this world. Close your eyes and connect with your inner self, feeling the energy coursing through you. Feel the love, the strength, and the brightness. You are energy with the ability to create your reality and realize your aspirations. You are capable, worthy, and adored. Believe in yourself and the universe, and watch the magic develop in your life. To transform your thoughts into beliefs, it is crucial to actively practice the act of believing. By placing faith in the universe's ability to provide for your needs, acknowledging your potential desires and dreams, and embracing your deservingness of love and happiness, you can cultivate deep peace and joy. Remember, you are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. Let your vibrations echo throughout eternity, And may your journey be one of endless discovery, growth, and transformation. The universe eagerly awaits your harmonious vibrations, ready to co-create a reality beyond your wildest dreams. By consciously choosing and aligning your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs with the desired vibration, you can attract and manifest corresponding experiences into your life. If you're still here, I would greatly appreciate your support through sharing and commenting. It would mean the world to me. Thank you for taking the time. I hope you have an absolutely beautiful day.
You've pictured it 1,000 times. You've closed your eyes, felt the emotion, imagined the outcome. You've tasted the future before it even arrived. You've whispered your intentions into the silence. And yet, here you are, still waiting, still wondering why nothing has truly shifted. Or maybe you've seen tiny ripples, a sign here, a brief sense of movement there. But then, the same thoughts return, the same habits, the same version of you, quietly circling the same loop. If you've ever felt like your vision is powerful, but your reality isn't reflecting it, there's a reason. Visualization isn't enough, not on its own, because it's not just about what you see with your eyes closed. It's about what you radiate with your eyes open. The field doesn't respond to desire. It responds to frequency. There's a vast difference between imagining a better future and broadcasting it, between dreaming about change and becoming the change. And that difference isn't subtle. It's energetic. It's vibrational. It's everything. The universe isn't listening to your words. It's not grading your vision board. It doesn't weigh your affirmations or track how many times you've let go. It listens to what you are. It mirrors your state. It reflects your signal. Not the one you conjure during meditation, the one you carry in your nervous system, in your breath, in the way you respond when life doesn't go your way. This is where most people get stuck. They try to manifest from the neck up, from thought alone, while the body is still stuck in survival mode, while the heart still signals fear, while the choices they make contradict the life they say they want. The result, mixed signals, and a quantum field that doesn't know what to do with them. Manifestation doesn't require more effort. It requires more coherence. When your thoughts, your emotions, and your behaviors all say the same thing, your frequency becomes clear, magnetic, stable. And the field, it responds not because it's impressed, but because it's matched. This isn't about forcing. This is about aligning. And alignment doesn't come from asking harder. It comes from becoming quieter. It comes from stopping the chase and realizing your dream life was never far away. It was always just on a different frequency. So how do you find that frequency? You begin to embody the energy of already mine. You stop living in the space of someday. You stop treating your dreams as visitors and start treating them like home. You breathe like someone who's arrived. You walk like someone who knows. You speak like someone who trusts their voice. Because identity isn't something you wait for. It's something you practice. You don't fake it. You familiarize yourself with it. Yes, at first it might feel strange. It might feel like you're lying to yourself, but that's only because your nervous system hasn't caught up to your truth. The frequency you're stepping into isn't foreign to your soul. It's just unfamiliar to your body. This is the heart of real manifestation. It's not about pretending to be something you're not. It's about remembering what you've always been and giving your body permission to finally catch up. Every day, you have a choice to keep feeding the frequency of not yet, or to begin nurturing the vibration of already here. Not because the external has changed, but because you have. Want to know the real secret? You don't manifest from your mind. You manifest from your state, your posture, your tone, your boundaries, your inner dialogue when no one's watching. This is not about looking fortunate. It's about embodying certainty. Not a loud, forced kind of certainty, but a quiet, calm knowing, the kind that doesn't beg, doesn't rush, doesn't obsess over signs, because it knows the signal has already been sent. You don't need to convince the universe. You need to calibrate to the version of you that already lives the life you desire. This is where the shift begins. You no longer live as someone trying to get abundance. You begin living as someone who is abundance. You don't wait to feel loved. You choose to feel lovable now. You don't react to lack. You lead with enoughness. You become the source, not the seeker. So if you're asking, how can I live in that frequency when nothing has changed? You lead with your energy, not your circumstances. You stop waiting for external evidence. You become the evidence. You live as if it's done, not to trick the universe, but to anchor your truth. And here's the beautiful part. You don't have to get it perfect, you just have to be consistent. Because when you choose that frequency again and again, your nervous system adapts. Your default state begins to change until the old identity, the one rooted in doubt, in delay, in proving, starts to fade. Not because you forced it out, but because it no longer matches who you are. You see, coherence is a choice you make every moment to align your thoughts, your emotions, and your behaviors with the life you say you want. And every time you make that choice, no matter how small, the field responds. You're not here to chase a new reality. You're here to stabilize the one that's already orbiting you. Not by asking for it, but by embodying it. Because in the quantum field, energy leads and matter follows. So ask yourself, if I were already living the life I desire, how would I speak today? How would I hold myself? What choices would I make without hesitation? Would I shrink to fit old rooms? Would I wait for permission? Would I apologize for taking up space? Or would I own it fully, not because I need proof, but because I am proof? This is not a performance. It's a return. You're not faking confidence, you're reclaiming coherence. And that coherence becomes your compass. In a world that teaches you to wait, to earn, to deserve, you are remembering the truth. You are the signal. You are the shift. You are the manifestation. So today, speak one word from alignment. Make one choice from already having. Move 1 inch closer to your future self. Not in concept, but in embodiment. And then again tomorrow. And the next day, until you forget what it felt like to live in separation from the life you were born to create. This isn't about becoming something more. It's about releasing everything that told you you weren't already enough. You don't need a louder voice. You need a steadier signal. And the world will catch up. Because it must. You are no longer chasing your dream. You're becoming the person who naturally attracts it. And that changes everything.
Everything in the universe is vibration, alive with frequency, from galaxies to the smallest particles. And money is no exception. Money is not evil. It's neutral, pure energy, responsive, fluid. It flows based on your inner signal, not your hustle. So the real question isn't, how do I earn more? It's, what energy am I emitting that money is responding to? When we speak about wealth, we're not speaking about digits or gold, we're speaking about resonance. How much you're in harmony with the rhythm of abundance. Money is simply the echo that follows your vibrational command. If you shift your state of being, the outer world has no choice but to follow. This isn't just mindset, it's metaphysics. Your energy at every moment is rooted in either contraction or expansion. These are not moods, they are states of consciousness. Lack is a low, dense frequency. It says there's never enough. I must survive. Flow is light, open, and magnetic. It says, I am in sync with divine supply. You were conditioned into lack. It is not your nature. It was your training. From a young age, scarcity was normalized and abundance was shamed. But flow is your birthright. The universe has never been in shortage, only in abundance. If your thoughts constantly orbit around how, when, and what if, you're unknowingly blocking flow. True wealth begins with the courage to believe you're already supported. Let this sink in. Money is not physical. It's a vibration given form. Just like electricity powers your home, money powers desires, decisions, expansion. It's a medium, not the message. When you shift your inner world, you don't chase money. Money begins chasing you. Because wealth isn't attracted to action, it's attracted to alignment. Every dollar you receive is a snapshot of the vibration you emitted before it arrived. The universe doesn't operate by logic. It follows frequency like water follows gravity. Money shows up in your world to serve a mirror, one that reflects your beliefs about worth, value, and self. And when your energy says, I am already whole, life begins to deliver from that truth. Every thought you think, every belief you hold, every emotion you feel broadcasts a signature frequency. That frequency determines what you allow, what you resist, and what flows toward you. Think of it like this. Money doesn't come when you're needy. It comes when you're receptive, aligned, and rooted in wholeness. Desperation is repellent. It signals the universe that you don't trust the process. Gratitude, on the other hand, accelerates attraction. It tells the field, I already have. The wealth you seek is already available, but your frequency is the key that unlocks it. If your energy says, I lack, even abundance will pass you by. But if it says, I'm whole, lack can't even find you. This isn't philosophy, it's energetic law. Here are the three spiritual mechanics that shape financial reality. 1. The law of vibration. All things respond to frequency, including wealth. 2. The law of assumption. What you expect with conviction becomes real. 3. The law of circulation. The more you flow, the more you receive. These laws are not moral, they are mechanical, they do not punish, they reflect. You're not under judgment, you're under law. And the law doesn't care whether you're spiritual or secular. It simply obeys what you broadcast. These principles govern everything from water to thought to wealth. You don't have to control the law. You only need to harmonize with it. Once you understand these rules, manifestation becomes natural. You are already that which you want to be, and your refusal to believe this is the only reason you do not see it. Money doesn't show up when you ask. It shows up when you feel it already belongs to you. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between real and imagined. It only knows the emotional signal you send. Your imagination is divine. It is your access point to creation. If you feel wealthy now, the quantum field reorganizes itself to match. Desire is not asking, it's claiming. To feel wealthy while having little is not delusion, it's power. You must walk in the energy of your outcome before the world can show you evidence. Here's the truth. Your outer wealth is capped by your inner beliefs. Most people are running subconscious scripts written in childhood. I'm not good with money. Money changes people. It's selfish to want more. To rewrite these scripts, you must enter the theta brain state, the space between conscious and unconscious. You do this through deep meditation, affirmations charged with emotion, daily reprogramming rituals. Healing your relationship with money is healing your relationship with yourself. Every limitation you carry was inherited, not chosen. But what was once programmed can be reprogrammed. You don't have to fight your beliefs. You just need to consistently feed new ones until they take root. Wealth is not something you chase. It's something you allow once your mind stops resisting it. Money isn't the goal. It's a consequence of who you become. So stop chasing. Start becoming. You're not just a person. You're a field of intelligence, a magnetic current of desire, memory, intention, and light. When you align with your truth, when you act in resonance, when you release the resistance, money shows up, not as a savior, but as a mirror. Every dollar is an echo of how much you believe you deserve to receive. You don't earn money, you allow it. You don't attract money, you harmonize with its rhythm. And once you become the source, the flow becomes endless. This is not magic, it is your natural design. Money is not just energy, it is also a spiritual barometer, a divine test revealing your level of trust, identity, and sovereignty. Many live as if money is their savior, not their reflection. The universe often withholds money to show you that you are the source, not your job, not your bank, not even your effort. When you transcend the need for money, when you stand in the awareness that you are already complete, that's when the floodgates open. Money isn't proof of success. It's the echo of your spiritual freedom. And that's why this knowledge must be shared. Because we live in a world where people worship the symbol and forget their own divinity. You are not chasing money. You are awakening to the truth that it has always been chasing you. The law of energy is simple. Whatever you withhold, you block. Whatever you circulate, you amplify. Money, love, wisdom, insight, they are not meant to be hoarded. They are meant to move, to breathe, to expand. You must give freely and without expectation if you wish to receive in full measure. So ask yourself, what is the purpose of this knowledge? Not just to become wealthier, but to awaken others to the truth of their creative power. To lift the veil, even for one's soul, is a sacred act of service. When you understand that wealth is your nature, your duty becomes this: circulate the energy, share the truth, activate the field. By sharing this message, you are not giving away power. You are multiplying it within yourself and across the field of collective consciousness. There is someone right now living in fear and confusion about money. A single share of this wisdom could open the gates of their mind. You become not just a receiver of wealth, you become a distributor of abundance. If this content made sense to you, don't keep this knowledge to yourself. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. Help others see that they too have the power to transform their financial reality. And remember, this is just the beginning. Subscribe to the channel to continue receiving content like this, which will help you grow, evolve, and achieve the life you deserve. Leave your comment below, telling us how you plan to put this into practice, and let's build a community focused on prosperity and transformation together.
Let me share something vital with you. You are not here to learn how to hear what you want. You are here to awaken to the realization that you already have it. The very act of trying to manifest implies a state of life. And this is precisely what keeps you from your desires. Think for a moment about your breathing. Do you try to breathe? Do you wake up each morning with a detailed plan upon you will successfully inhale and exhale throughout the day? Of course not. Breathing is natural, it is automatic, it is already yours. This is exactly how manifestation works. Yet we've complicated it with endless techniques and methods. When you entered this room tonight, did you doubt that the chair would support you when you sat down? Did you rehearse affirmations about the chair's stability? Did you visualize yourself successfully sitting? No, you simply sat, knowing with complete certainty that the chair would support you. This absolute knowing, this natural assumption, is the state from which all manifestation flows. Consider how you use your imagination throughout the day. When you're wife, you don't try to imagine negative scenarios, they flow effortlessly. When you're excited about a future event, you don't strain to imagine it. The pleasant scenarios play in your mind with ease. This is because imagination is your natural state of being. It's not something you need to master. It's something you're already doing every moment of every day. Let me tell you about a student who came to me recently. She had been trying to manifest a new career for 3 years. She had vision boards, affirmation journals, and attended countless workshops. She meditated daily, visualized religiously, and yet felt further from her goal than when she started. Why? Because every action she took was rooted in the belief that she didn't have what she wanted. I asked her a simple question. When you go to sleep at night, do you try to dream, or do dreams simply come? This question changed everything for her. She realized that all her effort, all her trying was actually a declaration of absence. The very act of trying was a confession of lack. Your natural state is one of fulfillment. Just as a seed contains within it everything needed to become a mighty oak, you contain within you everything you could ever desire. The oak doesn't try to become. It simply unfolds according to its nature. Your desires are not something to be achieved. They are something to be revealed. Think about when you're engrossed in a good book or lost in a movie. You don't try to imagine the scenes. They naturally form in your mind. The characters become real. Their world becomes your world, and you experience every emotion as if it were happening to you. This is the natural power of your consciousness. It doesn't require effort. It requires allowing. Many of you have heard the phrase living in the end, but I want you to understand something crucial tonight. You are always living in the end of some assumption. Right now, you're living in the end of all your current assumptions about yourself and your world. These assumptions didn't require effort to maintain. They simply became your reality through acceptance. When you wake up in the morning, you don't try to be yourself, you simply are. You don't try to remember your name or your past experiences. They are simply there as part of your consciousness. This is how natural manifestation should feel. It's not about trying, it's about being. Let me share another profound truth. The feeling of effort in manifestation is actually resistance to what already is. When you try to manifest something, you're unknowingly pushing against your natural state of abundance. It's like trying to force a door open, but it's already unlocked. The very effort prevents the simple action of turning the handle. Consider a time when you fell in love. Did you try to feel love? Did you follow a 5-step process to generate those butterflies in your stomach? No, the feeling came naturally because you allowed it. The same is true for every state of consciousness. You don't need to try to enter a state. You need only to allow yourself to be aware of it. Many of you have created the elaborate rituals around manifestation. You convince yourselves that without these specific actions, without this precise sequence of steps, your desires cannot manifest. But I tell you now, these rituals are like training wheels on a bicycle. They may have helped you understand the concept, but they are not the essence of the ride. Think about your current financial situation. Whether you have abundance or scarcity in your bank account, you didn't have to try to maintain that state. It exists because of your deep, unwavering assumptions about money. These assumptions weren't created through effort. They were absorbed through experience and acceptance. The same is true for your relationships, your health, your career. Every aspect of your life is a reflection of assumptions you hold without effort. The key to transformation isn't in trying harder. It's in recognizing that a new state of consciousness is already available to you. I want you to notice something right now. Notice how effortlessly you're listening to my words. Notice how naturally the meanings form in your mind. Notice how easily you understand what I'm saying without trying to understand. This effortless comprehension is your natural state. Manifestation should be just as effortless. Let me share with you what happened when I first understood this truth. I have been studying these principles for years, diligently practicing techniques, following every method I could find. But one day, while watching a sunset, I realized something profound. The sun didn't try to set. The colors didn't try to be beautiful. The moment didn't try to be perfect. It simply was. In that moment, I understood that all my trying had been an elaborate distraction from a simple truth. I already was what I was trying to become. The very consciousness that allowed me to conceal my desires was the same consciousness that contained their fulfillment. Think about the time when you received unexpected good news. In that moment, did you try to feel joy? Did you attempt to manufacture happiness? No, the feeling flowed naturally from the assumption of good fortune. This is how manifestation works. It's not about trying to feel a certain way. It's about allowing yourself to assume a new state of being. Many of you have created vision boards and written detailed lists of your desires. These can be wonderful tools for clarification, but they become obstacles when you believe they are necessary for manifestation. The truth is, your desire exists because its fulfillment exists. They are two sides of the same coin. Consider how easily you recognize yourself in a mirror. You don't try to remember what you look like. You simply know it's you. This immediate recognition is how natural your desired state should feel. It's not something to achieve, it's something to recognize as already true. I'm reminded of a gentleman who attended one of my lectures. He had been trying to manifest a specific position in his company for 2 years. He had done everything right, visualization, affirmations, action steps. But the position remained elusive. When I explained this principle to him, He realized that his very dedication to the process was a declaration that he didn't have what he wanted. That night, he stopped trying. Instead, he simply assumed the position was his. He didn't visualize it, affirm it, or take any special actions. He just knew it was done. Within a week, circumstances rearranged themselves, and he was offered the position. Not because he tried harder, but because he stopped trying altogether. Your world right now, every detail of it, exists without effort on your part. You don't try to maintain your current circumstances, they simply are. This same principle applies to any state you wish to experience. The trying keeps you locked in the consciousness of absence. Think about your name. When someone calls you, do you have to try to remember if that's really your name? Of course not. The recognition is immediate and effortless. This is how your desired state should feel, not something fugazi, but something that simply is. Many of you have spent years studying manifestation techniques. You've learned about vibration, attraction, alignment. But I tell you now, these are all descriptions of natural processes that happen by themselves. You don't need to understand how digestion works to digest your food. You don't need to comprehend the mechanics of sleep to fall asleep. Consider how easily you distinguish hot from cold, sweet from sour, pleasure from pain. These recognitions require no effort. They are natural functions of your consciousness. The same is true for manifesting your desires. The effort you're applying is actually preventing the natural expression of what already exists. Let me tell you about another student who struggled with concept. She had been trying to manifest perfect health, following every healing modality she could find. The more she tried, the worse her symptoms became. But she finally understood that health was her natural state. But she didn't need to try to be healthy. Her healing began. Not because she did anything different, but because she stopped doing altogether. Your consciousness is the only reality. Right now, you're conscious of being someone who needs to try to manifest desires. But I tell you, it's consciousness itself is what needs to shift. Not through effort, but through recognition. Think about how you know you exist. You need to prove it to yourself. Do you need to try to be? No, your existence is self-evident. It requires no proof, no maintenance. This same effortless knowing is available for any state you wish to experience. Many of you have created elaborate stories about why manifestation must be difficult. You've convinced yourselves that value comes through struggle, that rewards require effort. But look at nature. Does a flower try to bloom? Does a star try to shine? No, they simply express their nature. Your nature is unlimited consciousness. Every state, every experience, every possibility exists within you now. So trying is what keeps you from experiencing this truth. It's like trying to reach your hand when your hand is already part of you. The very act of trying creates an illusion of separation. Consider how easily you fall asleep when you're tired. You don't try to sleep. In fact, trying often keeps you awake. You simply allow suit to come. This same allowing is all that's needed for your desires to manifest. The trying is what keeps them at bay. I want you to understand something profound. The very fact that you can desire something means it already exists within your consciousness. You couldn't desire what you couldn't conceive, and you couldn't conceive what isn't already part of your consciousness. Think about dreaming. When you dream, entire worlds appear without effort. Character, situations, emotions all rise naturally from your consciousness. This same creative power is operating like now, creating your world. The only difference is that you convinced you that this world requires effort to change. Let me share one more story. A woman came to me devastated because she had been trying to manifest a loving relationship for years. She had done everything, dating apps, social events, personal development work, but every relationship fell short. When she finally understood that love was her natural state, that she didn't need to try to attract it, Everything changed. She stopped seeking and started being the love she desired. Within months, she met her perfect partner, not through trying, but through allowing her natural state to express itself. Your desires are not separate from you. They are not distant goals to be achieved forever. They are expressions of your consciousness waiting to be recognized. The trying keeps them in future, the knowing brings them into the present. Think about how you know what you want. The knowing itself is effortless. You don't try to want what you want. The wanting arises naturally from your consciousness. This same naturalness applies to the having. The trying creates the illusion of distance between wanting and having. As we conclude tonight, I want you to realize something. Everything I said has been absorbed by your consciousness without effort. You didn't try to understand. Understanding happened naturally. This same effort was absorption. It's how manifestation works. It's not about trying, it's about allowing what already is to express itself through you. Remember, the oak is already in the acorn. The butterfly is already in the caterpillar. Your desired fate is already within you. Stop trying to become what you already are. Stop trying to achieve what is already yours. Stop trying to manifest what already exists. Your only task is to allow your natural state of fulfillment to express itself. This allowing requires no effort, no techniques, no special practices. It requires only the recognition that what you seek is already yours. Let this understanding sink into your consciousness now. Feel the relief of knowing that you don't have to try anymore. Feel the freedom of recognizing that what you desire already exists within you. Feel the peace of allowing your natural state of fulfillment to express itself. You are not here to learn how to manifest. You are here to remember that manifestation is your natural state. Everything you desire is already yours. The trying was the only thing keeping it from your experience. Go forth now, not in effort, but in the quiet comfort of knowing that you already have everything you desire. Let this knowing guide your steps, shape your thoughts, and create your reality, not through trying, but through being what you already are. For in truth, you have never lacked anything. You have never been separate from your desires. You have never needed to try. You have always been complete, whole, and fulfilled. The only change needed is in your recognition of this eternal truth. And with this recognition, your world will transform. Not because you tried to change it, but because you allowed it to reflect what was always true. Your natural state of fulfillment will express itself in every area of your life, creating exactly what you desire without ease, without trying, without struggle. For this is the true art of manifestation, not doing, but being. Not trying, but allowing. Not becoming, but recognizing what already is. And now you know. And knowing is enough. Let this truth settle into your consciousness. Let it transform your world. Let it set you free from the bondage of trial. For in this freedom, in this natural state of being, everything you desire will flow to you as naturally as breath flows to your lungs and light flows from the sun. Treat of higher experience memory. When you recall a happy moment from your past, do you, stranger, remember the joy? Do you employ techniques to access that feeling? No, the memory and its associated emotion arise naturally in your consciousness. Consider this. Right now, as you sit here, you are simultaneously aware of being in this room and being the person you know yourself to be. This dual awareness requires no effort. You don't try to maintain your identity while being present in this space. Most states of consciousness coexist effortlessly. Many of you have created a practice of what you call living in the end. But I tell you now, you're always living in the end of some assumption. Every moment of your experience is the end result of states you've accepted as real. The person sitting here now is the end result of all the assumptions you've embraced without effort. Let me tell you about a remarkable transformation I witnessed. A gentleman who had attended my lectures for years approached me one day. He had been diligently practicing techniques to manifest financial abundance. Every morning he would spend hours visualizing wealth, repeating affirmations, and taking inspired action. Yet his financial situation remained unchanged. One evening, after hearing about this principle of natural manifestation, he had an epiphany. He realized that his very dedication to these practices was a declaration of not having what he desired. That night, he did something revolutionary. He stopped all his manifestation practices. Instead, he simply accepted that abundance was his natural state. Within 3 weeks, his entire financial reality transformed. Business opportunities appeared effortlessly. Long-standing debts were unexpectedly forgiven. A forgotten investment suddenly yielded substantial returns. Not because he tried harder, but because he stopped trying altogether. Think about how you experience the present moment. You'll try to be here now. You simply are. This same effortless presence is all that's required to experience your desires. The trying creates resistance to what naturally is. Merely you develop complex rituals around your manifestation practice. You've convinced yourself that without these specific action, without these precise methods, your desires cannot materialize. But I ask you, does a tree need rituals to grow? Does the sun need techniques to shine? Does your heart need practices to beat? Your consciousness is infinitely more powerful than any technique. It is the very substance from which all experience springs. When you truly understand this, you'll see that all your trying has been like trying to wet water or heat fire, unnecessarily possible. Consider how naturally you fall into different states throughout your day. When you're absorbed in work, you don't try to be focused, you simply are. When you're relaxing with loved ones, you don't try to be at ease, you naturally are. This same effortless shifting of states is all that's required for manifestation. Let me share another truth that many find hard to accept. The very act of seeking guidance on manifestation is often a declaration of not having. When you attend workshops, read books, and practice techniques, you're unknowingly affirming that manifestation is something you need to learn, rather than your natural state to be. Think about how you know you're a liar. Do you need proof? Do you need techniques to maintain your existence? Of course not. This same natural knowing is available for every state you wish to experience. The techniques and practices, while well-intentioned, often serve as barriers to this natural knowing. I'm reminded of a young woman who had been trying to manifest a specific relationship. She had created elaborate visualization scenarios, written detailed lists of qualities she desired, and performed countless manifestation rituals. Yet love seemed to elude her. One day she realized that all her trying was a declaration of absence. She stopped all her practices and simply accepted that love was her natural state. Within weeks, not only did she meet someone who embodied everything she desired, but she realized that this person had been in her life all along. Her trying had blinded her to what was already present. Your consciousness is like an infinite ocean. Every possible experience exists within it as a potential wave. You don't need to try to create waves. They arise naturally from the ocean's nature. Similarly, your desires arise naturally from your consciousness, and their fulfillment is as natural as waves are to the ocean. Think about how easily you distinguish between what you want and what you don't want. This knowing requires no effort. The same effortless knowing is available for experiencing what you desire. The trier only creates resistance to this natural flow. Many of you have created a hierarchy of desires, believing that some things are easier to manifest than others. But I tell you, through your consciousness, all manifestations are equally natural. Just as it's no harder for your mind to imagine an elephant than a mouse, it's no harder to manifest big things than small ones. Consider how naturally you accept the reality of your current circumstances. You don't wake up each morning trying to convince yourself that your current life is real. You simply know it is. This same natural acceptance is all that's required for any state you wish to exhibit. As we conclude this extended exploration of effortless manifestation, I want you to realize something profound. The very fact that you can understand these words, that you can grasp these concepts, proves that they already exist within your consciousness. You're not learning something new, you're remembering what you've always known. Your task now is simple. Though your mind may try to complicate it, stop trying. Stop fantasizing, stop seeking. Instead, allowing yourself to be what you already are, pure consciousness containing within itself every possible experience, every possible state. Let this understanding transform how you approach your desires. Instead of trying to manifest them, simply recognize that they already exist within you. Instead of working to achieve them, allow them to express themselves naturally through you. For in truth, there is nothing to achieve, nothing to attract, nothing to create. There is only the recognition of what already is, the acceptance of what has always been true, the allowing of your natural state to express itself in your experience. And with this recognition, with this acceptance, with this allowing, everything you desire will flow into your experience as naturally as breath flows into your lungs, as effortlessly as light fills a room, as inevitably as waves arise from the ocean. This is the final truth, the ultimate understanding. You are not a seeker of experiences. You are the source of all experience. You are not trying to become something. You already are everything you desire to be. Let this truth settle into your consciousness now. Let it transform your approach to life. Let it free you from the bondage of trying, seeking, and struggling. For in this freedom, in this natural state of being, everything you desire is already yours. Go forth now, not as someone trying to manifest, but as the natural manifestation of pure consciousness itself. Let your desires flow through you, as naturally as life flows through nature. For this is your true state, your natural being, your eternal reality. And it is done. Rest in this truth. Rest on this understanding. Be what you already are. For in this simple acceptance lies the fulfillment of all desires, the realization of all dreams, the manifestation of all possibilities. And now you know, and knowing is enough. This is where we'll conclude our time together. Though the truth we've explored will continue to unfold within your consciousness, revealing ever deeper layers of understanding, ever greater expressions of your natural state as fulfillment. Remember, you are not here to try, but to be. Not to become, but to recognize. Not to achieve, but to allow. For in this recognition, in this allowing lies the secret of effortless manifestation, the art of natural being, the truth of who you really are. Thank you.
People always ask me, how do I create the person of my dreams that I want in my life? And I always say, take out a piece of paper, write down everything you want in that person, and then become it. Because so many people have so many interesting definitions about what they think love is, right? And some people have it in terms of need, some people have it in terms of sexuality, some people have it in terms of control and dominance and success. And so those are different experiences that really don't lead to this concept called love. I was in Australia for 3 weeks, and I was doing this big book tour. And I was on all these television shows and all these radio shows, and I wanted to talk about the science of changing your mind, the neuroplasticity, epigenetics, and every television show they were asking me about soulmates. How do you create your soulmate? And I was just so tired by the end of this tour. I was at the Establishment Hotel in Sydney, and I was sitting with a CNN reporter, an attractive woman, and she said, how come I can't create the relationship that I want? And I just was so over it. I just looked at her and I said, let me ask you a question. Would you go out with you? Which is really the fundamental question. So I have a couple theories about relationships that I think are really important, and I use the same exact principles with my life. First of all, I will never work in a relationship, and I don't think anybody should work in a relationship. I think if you're working in a relationship, something is not clicking, something is not right. But if you bring your best, and the person that you're with brings their best, and you celebrate your life together, then there's constructive interference, there's growth, there's energy. If you're not at your best and you show up, more than likely you're going to pick someone or something apart, and it's better that you remove yourself for a period of time and get back into your heart and present yourself at your best. And so if you're not there and you need a mirror or a reflection, then it's good to ask, am I missing something? Am I not seeing myself in some way? And then there's a healthy conversation when you invite it. But if you're not invited to contribute your opinion, then it's better off that you don't, right? So people always say, I want a loving relationship, but what they really want is happiness, really. So we do these meditations to create love in our lives. And it could be love in familial relationships with your siblings, it could be with your parents, it could be with your friends, or it could be with a significant other. And so if thoughts are the electrical charge in the quantum field, and feelings are the magnetic charge in the quantum field, and how you think and how you feel broadcasts an electromagnetic signature that influences every single atom in your life. The thought sends a signal out, and the feeling is the magnetic field that draws the event back to you. So if you're not in a place where you're in love with life, or in love with yourself, or practicing diminishing your emotional reactions to certain people or conditions in your life, and you're living in anger or hostility or judgment or fear, and you want a loving relationship, there is no magnetic field for you to draw that to you. And in fact, if you say to me, well, it's that person or that circumstance that's caused me to feel this way, then I would say that person or that circumstance is controlling the way you feel and the way you think. And anything that controls the way we feel and the way we think, we are victims to, right? So most people are unconsciously responding to the conditions in their environment, experiencing emotions that are derived from the hormones of stress. Those emotions cause us to feel separate from our dreams. They heighten our senses. So if we can't see them, it doesn't exist. The threat or the danger puts us in emergency mode, and we can think positively about the relationship we want. We could send the signal out into the field. We could have pictures. We could remind ourselves of what it is. But if you're not drawing the experience back to you because your response to the environment is actually weakening your organism, it's weakening your response, it's actually weakening the body, then you will be as a victim more vulnerable to the... If you have an event in your life, like an experience in your life that has a strong emotional charge to it, and you don't feel like your normal self, you feel this alarm system switch on, you're going to narrow your focus on the cause, and the brain's going to take a snapshot, and that's called a long-term memory, right? So then what people don't know is that every time they think about that event, they're producing the same chemistry in their brain and body as if the event was occurring in that moment. So the highly charged event is actually producing the emotion, and the body is so objective that it doesn't know the difference between the real experience that's creating the emotion and the emotion that the person is fabricating by thought alone. The body's believing it's in the same environmental experience. So the highly charged emotional events you use, some people think of their ex, and the thought of that person makes them sick, makes them feel out of balance. So all you need is an image and an emotion, a thought and a feeling, a stimulus and a response, and you're conditioning your body emotionally into the past. So now the memories are just not in the brain now, they're in the body. So now that thought of that person is actually creating a response in the body that's consuming the body's energy for growth and repair, consuming the body's energy to create. Because in survival, it's not a time to create. In survival, it's time to run, fight, and hide. So the problem is that it becomes a subconscious program. It's no longer a conscious process. It now is a subconscious process.